Thank you for a lovely film. It's really amazing.
You're welcome.
My first question is, after watching this movie, one might conclude that you believe neither in friendship nor love. Would you, especially considering the ending, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it could as well be the opposite.
Yeah.
It could be both. No, I believe in friendship. Of course, I believe in friendship. I believe it's sometimes stronger than anything else. But I believe in love also. If I didn't believe in love, I wouldn't do a movie about love. I believe in love, and I think that if we ought to talk about it, then we ought to be respectful and honest about what it truly is. And of course, I appreciate all these romantic comedies with Cameron Diaz, but they're not always. It doesn't always, or Reese Witherspoon, but they're not always. No, but she's a great actress, by the way. But they're not always representative of disappointment that we feel when we're in love. There's also a matter of who you choose to love. I don't do that necessarily well. There's love from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. when you work, and then you get back home, and then you have dinner, and then you say, turn down the lights, and you just, there's this kind of love. And then there's some other kind of love, when you're really passionate and when nothing else is important, and you're walking down the street, listening to some music, thinking about the one. That's the kind of love I've been experiencing for the past years. We've never had a stable relationship. Oh my God, is this therapy?
Yes, it is.
Will I have to pay you?
What do you... We'll talk about it after. Many people have compared Heartbreaks to Xavier Dolan. What's your favorite love triangle movie?
I haven't seen so many love triangle movies, first. And second, I think that it shouldn't be compared to Jules et Jim.
I agree.
Because Jules et Jim is a real love triangle in which every angle interfere with the others and are connected. Heartbeats is more a love duel between two friends who are obsessed with the concept and not a person. Because this guy is kind of not interesting.
And that's the thing.
He has no.
He has nothing except for the looks.
Well, he's okay. All right, you're radical. He has nothing. You're right. Somehow, I mean, he's studying in literature and he's bragging about it and everything, but we know very little about him. And it's not necessarily important. He's a MacGuffin. He's just conducting the story. We don't need to know anything about him. And the two characters are just in love with love, and that's all that counts for them. And Jules and Jim, I mean, they're intern. They're all together. She's with him, then she's with the other. Well, two guys are not together, but they're friends. So it's a real love triangle. But in my story, there's a dead angle. So.
I was thinking of this humiliating scene for Monia.
Which one?
Yes. The one when she was making her declaration of love in the street outside the cafe. And I thought she shot it 10 times, but she said it was 14 times. Could you tell us about that scene?
Sure. Well, basically, I wanted it to be a one-shot deal, but it was very difficult because we didn't have the budget to block the streets. So students, and it was this neighborhood, kind of that neighborhood, and danger. So we were shooting, and some kids were just in high school, were just, going through, and waving to the camera, and like, this is 35 millimeter, so it's and you know, it's complicated because you don't necessarily know that, but so there's the cameraman, and then there's the focus puller, and then there's the sound guy, and then there's another dude. I call him the dude, who's sticking around, you know, to just see that everything will go out fine. And in this restaurant, she's getting out by the front door, but there's a back street, and she's starting in the restaurant, and there's no cut. We're following her through the restaurant, so we got to manage doors, complicated, and go out. And while she's going out with, you know, chasing him, I go through the kitchen and get to the back street and hide behind the fence, and they end up being in front of that fence. And I just listen like this, and eventually in the scene you would hear me say this, or say that, or do this, and then you have to, you know, erase that at sound work. But so yeah, it was supposed to be a one-shot deal, but it was too long, and there were dead beats.
But was she like emotionally exhausted afterwards? Because it's
no, she was. Yeah. Monia is very professional. She was focused.
Being rejected 14 times.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be here, so we could have asked her, but maybe you can ask her and let us know through.
Do you want me to call her?
No, it's okay.
We didn't have a conference or something.
It's okay.
All right, okay. But yeah, no, she was not exhausted, but it's kind of overwhelming because we're doing it 14 times, and at some point it's a lot of dialogue. Also, it's a big dialogue, and it's very written. So
I was also thinking about the wrestling scene that you did.
That was funny.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was just
fighting with your best friend. You mean
it didn't feel weird?
No, not at all. Though we couldn't help laughing before she. Well, okay, I couldn't help laughing. We had this crazy thing. I couldn't stop. I was trying to get focused, and that was the first scene that we shot, actually. First. And I laughed and laughed, and she would slap me. You know, so I just had to stop because it hurt. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this. And then yeah, we started to fight, and then that's it.
Right.